Good evening. It is Irankar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. And your meditation was very simple and very good. And hopefully you are in a relaxed, happy, and joyful mood. And that you feel safe and secure in all ways. And you can do this type of meditation on your own. It is so very simple to choose the words that you wish to use in your mantra. Peace and harmony, peace and love are only illustrations which you can follow or not. Perhaps you would like to say love and joy, or happiness and good health, perfect health in every way. You can say riches. I am rich. I am happy. I am healthy. I am rich. I am happy. I am healthy. That could be your mantra, so that your mind thinks of these things that you want to have manifest in your life. Find the perfect way of describing what you want and express it, taking time in every day to spend perhaps 5 minutes, 10 minutes, concentrating on the mantra that you manufacture, that you conceive of, that you correct. So that is your judgment on what it is you wish to manifest in your life. And by spending your time focusing upon it, why then you will find that you will manifest these things in your life without much more effort. Because where your mind goes, what your mind thinks about constantly is what it is you will experience in life. And so I give you that reminder so that you can choose what it is you wish to experience, express it, think about it, and manifest it. And now, are there any questions for me while I am present?
Hi, Rankar. This is Soham.
Yes, Soham.
Hi. Rankar, I have a question. I guess it's regarding my wife, Charmy.
It is regarding your friend?
No, it's regarding my wife. Yes, yes, Charmy. So I guess recently, it seems a bit all of a sudden she feels like she wants to work, to have a job, and I guess to have an income of her own. And that's all good. And I was encouraging her to, I guess, she wants it such that she can manage, like she can take care of the baby well, also in the home, and have something that she can, do related to education. That's all good. And I was encouraging her to look at data scientist positions. In this day and age, in this type of career, there's a lot of work from home options, part-time or more flexible options, freelancing or whatnot. But I think somehow I'm not sure what's going on in her mind, but she's not feeling confident that she can handle a data scientist job, which would need mental involvement and engagement, because it's a creative job. And I guess she's not feeling confident, and she's applying to jobs that are lower level, like data analyst jobs, which I don't think is a good idea. They're not commensurate with her level of education. So I'm kind of encouraging her like to think more strategically, to think more more long term and think about developing a career. It should be in data science and commensurate with her level of education. It can be part-time or flexible, something that helps her manage the time and take care of the baby. But to go in a totally lower level position, I think she won't be happy in the end, and it won't lead her to the right career direction that will be good for her.
Or that you think is good for her.
That I think is good for her.
Yes, and you must remember it is her life and her level of satisfaction which will determine what it is she wishes to do. At this point in time, the reason for applying for the lower level jobs is because she knows it will be easy for her and that she will be more able then to handle being the mother that she also wants to be. Right. So do not, you can encourage her, but just encourage her to find out what she is going to be happy with. You do not have to consider her career because that may not matter to her. Right now, she is still involved with her daughter, with Krishna, but she feels the need for at least some intelligent situation and working with adults. Just being a mother is not quite enough for her right now, but she doesn't want to overburden herself. She can always change what she is seeking to do and start looking for better work. Because she starts out at a lower level, it will still be easy to explain that she took that job because she was still new at being a mother and was not confident in her ability to handle a complex situation as well as her motherhood, homemaker expectations for herself, the level that she wants. She has high aspirations for herself as being a good mother, a great mother, as well as a good wife. And she needs to have the freedom to do that while she is working. And she is just more confident to know that she can do this easy work. It will not be stressful. Do not worry about her career. When she proves herself adequate to her own level of what she wishes to aspire to, she will be able to make those moves. Do not be overly concerned that she starts out low for the time being. It is something that she is doing while she is, so to speak, getting her feet wet in juggling both being a mother as well as being a career woman. So simply, you can encourage her for more, but while you have already said whatever she wishes is best, for she knows herself and she can easily and will easily move ahead at a later date. Don't have her on a career path at this point in time. It is not necessary.
Okay.
I hope that was helpful. I know Carmi would like that advice.
Yes, yes. No, I think it'll be easy for her.
Yes, and let her be. Yes, it is not that she doesn't have the confidence in herself. She does, but it is a new realm, being a mother, as well as being working. This was something new. and she wants to be sure she can do a good job in both ways. And she will quickly progress beyond the analyst position she is applying for, and she will be able to experience career development when she takes a job.
Okay.
Are there other questions?
Yeah. That's very helpful, Ronka.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
What other questions do we have?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Hello, Rankar. How are you?
I'm good. It is Lydia.
Thank you. Yes, this is Lydia. The first question when I have, when actually it's the best time for me to travel to Poland due to the very big problems right now in Europe. I would like to visit my mom, but I'm just kind of a little bit skeptic right now. If you can see.
I understand that it is, it seems hazardous to make that type of a trip due to what is happening in Europe and Ukraine. And Poland is right there, right next to Ukraine. And so I understand your concern. When will be the best time to do that? It is whatever time that you wish to do it. I know that it's not helpful to you. You would like to hear an answer such as this fall or next spring or winter. However, if I consider the situation in Poland, I am not seeing that things are going to change too much. They are as they are right now, and will continue to be as they are. So it is safe now, and it will be safe for some time. Because there is the war in Ukraine, it does not mean that it will instantly, or as soon as Ukraine is conquered, that Russia will move on to attack Poland. They are not seeking to do that at this time. So anytime that you feel you would like to go and you are comfortable, you can do that.
Right.
You might also consider asking your mom to make the trip here if you are fearful, and that may make her feel more safe. Do you understand?
Yes.
And also
yes.
for yourself. But I realize she is an older woman and may not be comfortable making that voyage. Moving.
That will be. It will be definitely much better for me to feel comfortable. She's safe if she can come over, but like she's saying, you're not removing old trees, you're not uprooting the old trees, so it's more difficult. But thank you so much for this clearing. And yes. I have another question, if I can have.
Of course.
If it's possible, I would like to know what kind agreement actually we made, myself, my younger son and my older son in the previous lives when we are in here and right now, because right now all of three of us, we have very hard hit, the very hard patch for all of us. It's very difficult emotionally. I still didn't have a contact with my older son because he's not very happy. We didn't obey with the guardings of our life to see his daughter, and my younger son and I, we are very open and loving, and he has very much still it's anger and mad, and it's impossible even talk to him normal way over the phone when he's calling. And I always send the good energy and love. If you can just look in this situation and like for me, like a mother, little bit advice how I can take everything together to just maybe speed up the peace between us, if it's possible. I know every of us has a different path and a different lesson, but I'm a person when I really, really struggle with any kind fighting, even when it's emotional fighting.
One moment, please. I will consider this to discover what it is I can best, how I can best answer your question. One moment, please. Are you saying to me that your older son becomes hostile even when he makes the phone call to yourself?
Yes, yes.
Yes, one moment. I am not sure what started the hostility, but my suggestion is that when he calls, you must be patient and not try to speak to him. Do not try to elicit why he is so angry. You can just listen to him and say, I'm sorry, I love you, just the way you are. And I hope your life is happy. Do not spend a great deal of time talking to him or trying to elicit the reason for his anger. It is not helpful to the situation, as you have already observed. So it is best to say the smallest amount and just express your love and your hope that all is well for him. You can ask if there is anything he needs from you or you can do, but that may elicit something that you are unable to do at this time or unwilling to do. You have to leave him to sort this out himself, but you cannot make it sound as if you are giving him a command to change. So it is best to not say too much and just say, thank you for the news, and I hope all is well with you, and I love you. And I have to go now. Keep your conversation short, saying goodbye very quickly, that you are in the middle of something and you only have a few minutes to talk with him, but you want to express that you hope he is well, he is happy, and that you love him. And saying those things and nothing else may eventually bring him around to being able to speak to you more easily and with less hostility. As for your past life, you asked what contract we came together. I do not know if this is the product of a past life, the situation, that it is something from a past life. I was not able to find an area of discord. There is, at this point in time, there is something in this lifetime that has disturbed him. It is not the contract that you should be angry with one another from a past lifetime. So you can say if you choose, but I recommend that you do not at this time bring up the subject. I must have hurt you in the past to make you so angry. I am so very sorry. And I do love you. And I hope I can make it up to you someday. And that is sufficient to say.
Great, great.
And he may respond to that. You look for that in a different phone call, not whichever one you say it in, and be prepared to say the same things over and over again. I must have hurt you badly in the past. Please forgive me. I am sorry, and I love you. That is the main tenet of what you wish to say to yourself. And this will eventually elicit the information that you need. But you cannot defend yourself when he tells you what you did wrong, because you probably, in your mind, did not think it was the wrong thing to do or say, or you would not have done it. It is that simple. So you cannot defend yourself because it is his perception of what happened. And so it is easier just to say, I am so sorry I hurt you. Please forgive me. What can I do to make it better? Or something to that extent.
Okay. Yes, great. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Are there other questions?
Yes, Ron Carts, Elizabeth.
Yes.
I created a class to help people journeying through grief. And I was wondering, do you feel that there is a need for this? And if so, what are some ways to attract people to the classes?
I understand your question. And do I feel whether there is a need for this? Many times people do need help to journey through grief, but they do not think that you will be able to help them, because grief is very personal. As you well know, you have been forced to make this journey more than once in your life. And it is a difficult thing to convince someone that what you have to offer can be helpful. I would take the time, if you can, to speak about this yourself, to stand up before the church and say that it is, while you know it is personal, very often that others who are in the same situation can be helpful to you. And maybe briefly, very briefly, share your own story of your loss of your son, your husband, and how devastated you were. And that by sharing your journey, you are hopeful to help others who have a similar journey to make. Now, it is difficult because the people who need to hear you may not hear you. They may not be there to hear you. That is the difficulty. They are not present. And so you have to find a different way to advertise this class. And you might go to the hospital where they deal with these issues and ask if you can present your class at the hospital. And in this way, you will reach more people. At least you may be able to put up a poster, a message that you are offering this, so that it can meet the people who need to hear your message and get your help. So if you think back to when you yourself experienced your losses, did you reach out to others for help? And what helped you the most? And in this way, you may be able to reach other people. It is always good to share and to help others through the journey of grief and through the journey of life. And grief is one of life's passings. It happens to everyone in some way. And they are all in need of help, but they do not recognize it. They just recognize that this is something to be endured. And they do not know what to do. And so you first need to make your class known in further circles is all I can suggest. Going to the hospital, also spending time at where hospice is, at a hospice center, or where they're with the dying, so that you can meet the people who are the family of those people who are dying and starting to transition. And you could talk to them, and they then might be interested in taking your class.
Yeah. Also, Elizabeth, I have an email going out tomorrow night to the to the ISD mailing list. So you should get some response from that.
Thank you. I do know that there are 3 people that have signed up and 2 that are thinking about it. So, but thanks, Bob. I appreciate that. And also you too, Rankar.
Yes, you are most welcome. Are there other questions for me while I am present?
Can I have one more? This is Lydia.
Yes.
This time I would like to ask about my younger son. He has an anger issue. And it was kind of cute when he was a small child, toddler. But as he is growing up and soon he will be 30, I can see he cannot manage himself. It's just, he is very sensitive, he is very good, he is very good to the people, but when he has enough and it's building in him, it can be just like a snap and he's like firing like volcano. And after that, he feels very bad and it's cool, and he's saying, I'm sorry to everybody. It's any way to help him, to talk to him, how he can help himself?
He needs a class in anger management, is what you are telling me.
It's look like, yes.
Yes. Well, one of the techniques in such classes is to tell him to count to 3 or 4 or 5 before he says anything. And that will give him time to think things over, to try to find the right words to say. If he is open to it, you can remind him that it is important to figure out how people will react to what he is saying. If he is angry, will they be able to hear his words? Will they be able to take his advice? Will they be able to react in the right way to what he is saying? Because it is coming across as anger. And so while he is thinking about this, and he is counting to 3 or 4 or 5, this may calm him down a little bit, and he may have a more appropriate response. There is also one thing that you may share with him. Anger comes about because people and things are not the way you want them to be. And this makes you angry. But since when do you determine the way other people should be, or the way that other people, that things should be? You do not want anyone telling you how you should be. So therefore, you must remember that other people do not have to be the way you want them to be. Situations do not have to be the way you want them to be. So this is why you are getting angry, because you want things your way. But now you are an adult. And as such, you must recognize that as you want to have the freedom to be the way you want to be, so you must give that freedom to other people. And you cannot do that by getting angry with them. You could come to a meeting of the minds by talking about them and coming to new solutions. Perhaps that will work better for you, but getting angry does not get you what you want. And that is what you are doing. As you have said, it sometimes can be cute when they are little, but as adults, it is not as charming.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great advice. I really appreciate that.
You are most welcome. Just remind him that he is not the person in charge of the world. And if he wants to be as he wants to be, then he has to give everyone else the right to be as they want to be and to do things the way they want to do them. And so he should not get angry at other people.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Rankar. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
Yes, Rankar, this is Soham again.
Yes.
Right. Rankar, one more question. So I guess last week on Friday, one of my contacts, he's a Cornell alumni, and I met with him last year when I was looking for a job. He's a vice president of marketing at a local semiconductor company in Carlsbad. And I had reached out to him last year, and we had a good chat. He had a job open, but the timing didn't work out for me. That job is still open, and he's reached out to me directly to see if I would be interested in joining that company. And it's a director of product marketing position. So the title seems good. I've arranged to meet with him on Monday to discuss with him in more detail about the job and how it may potentially work out. So I think a couple of things I want to understand was, like, is the focus of the job, is that an individual contributor position or a true management position? Based on the job description, it was not, I don't think it was well written, so I'll have to clarify that. And kind of more things about whether the job will be right for me as the next step. I think I also want to tell him about, I guess, my plans to go to India. And I would like to go to India and have the family, spend time with family there. So I'll see what he thinks about that, and if, what he wants to do. Does he want to interview me now or later, or if he's interested at all, or I'll see what his response is. But this is a recent development, I guess. And if you have any additional guidance or something, any important point that I missed that I could prepare for my meeting, please let me know.
It seems like you have zeroed in on the pertinent questions. Particularly, is this an individual contributor job, or whether it is someone who will be in charge of others? Because you are really looking to move into a management in charge of others position.
Right.
So that you are most interested in helping to organize other people in accomplishing what is wanted and needed for the company. And so that should be made known. And of course, you can mention that you are going to India, and there is no reason that, since it isn't going to make much difference, and the job has gone unfilled for quite some time, that you may be able to secure the job for yourself when you get back.
Right.
But do it at this time, if it is the right job for you.
Right.
And so I think you have it well in hand. Personally, that is my opinion, that you have it well in hand and know what you are doing. You will think of more questions as the interview, because essentially this will be your interview.
Okay.
As it progresses. And you must look at it that way, that it will be your interview, because in effect it is. But you know that you already have a leg up, because this time he contacted you.
Right. Right.
So that is a good sign.
Okay. So I should prepare. I should prepare diligently, like I would for an interview before me.
Yes, by all means, because that way you will get the right information back for yourself.
Right.
Just the way that you need. You must look into the company, what they do, what it is they need, what that you perceive that you can bring to that company.
Right.
Yes. And if you can state that as you are discussing back and forth in a more informal manner, it will be effective.
Okay. Okay. I'll be sure to prepare diligently for the meeting with him on Monday. And
yes, you have a week.
Yes. Yeah.
And while you are very busy, I'm sure that you will have plenty of time to do what you need to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
Are there other questions for me while I'm in present?
Thank you, Rankar.
You are welcome, Soham. Of course, if you had an additional question, Soham, you could ask me. So could anyone who is up there.
I didn't have a question, but I wanted to thank Rankar for resonating something in hospitals for Elizabeth. Strangely enough, if you don't mind me just mentioning my experience, and maybe this will to further vibrate Rankar. I was standing in the hospital at my desk and a woman walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'd like to introduce myself. I have a grieving group that I want to share. Here's a flyer. The hospital has given me permission to run this group. And can you please post this flyer explaining who I am in the group and the contact information?" And she ran off. So when Ron Carr said that to Elizabeth, I thought, oh my goodness, that just happened to me. And I could picture Elizabeth being the one handing a flyer to me to post. And so thank you, Ron Carr, for connecting that energy. It was perfect.
Yes, and those, and remember the people in nursing home. There may be elderly people who are dying and transitioning, but they have families and they also need that information. So to post your information in those places also, besides hospitals, emergency rooms. Unfortunately, many people have to face up to the death of a loved one because they are in an emergency room, either an accident or heart attack or something has caused a failure within the body, and the person is free to transition, and the family is left behind. So placing flyers in those areas will be of help. And even if her class may or may not go this time, even if it is small, it will give her more experience in talking about this, although I know she is already experienced, but this is a different situation from other times. Her words will be different, and the effect will be different because she has a different viewpoint than she did when she had to answer in a certain type of way in the past. Now she is freer to express and can be of even more help than in the past. But so if her class does not go this time, she can actively work if she wishes to help others in this way by printing some literature and bringing it to these places where death is a common reality. Are there other questions? Well, no one else is speaking up at this time. So I guess it is time for me to say goodnight. And I remind you that Juana will be back as soon as I say goodnight. And I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Ron. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. And now I just want to say goodbye to you all. Remember, I love you all. Good night.
Love you. Night.